In this video, I'm going to show you the basics of creating your first ad campaign in AdvertServe. And it basically follows a three-step process from left to right here on the top menu. You're going to start by creating an account for your new advertiser. You're going to then create a media, at least one media file, which is the ad itself. And then you can create a campaign that you associate that media file with. And that campaign, it has all the parameters of actually running the campaign. So let's start that step by step. You start with an account for your advertisers, and assuming they don't have an account with you already, you go create new advertiser. You give the advertiser a name, so my favorite advertiser. You give them a username, favorite one, and this username, by the way, they can use in the future to log in themselves and actually make certain modifications. You can control what type of permissions they have when they log in. Then you need to just make sure that you have, a contact name and some sort of name, steve@mysite.com, and you are going to, that's the basics, you create the advertiser right there. Now that profile has been saved, you can see on the right hand side there are now no campaigns and no media associated yet with this advertiser. So the next step is to go to your media options up here, and you're going to create your new media file. So that requires a few different steps. You're going to name your media, Steve's first banner, and you're going to pick your, from the list of all advertisers, you're going to pick that advertiser that you created, like my favorite advertiser. All media that you create is now going to be associated, and all media that you create for them needs to be associated with that specific advertiser. You're going to pick the size of the media that you're looking to add. Let's say it's going to be 300 by 250. And now AdvertServe is going to search specifically for those file dimensions and only serve those sizes or make them fit that size. So the next thing to do is to actually upload your file to AdvertServe. So you press upload file, and here on the top right, upload file option, I'm going to choose the file. In this case, I have here just a placeholder 300 by 250. Once that's been selected, I press upload file, and then on the top right, I press select uploaded files and add it to media. So once that's done, you can now see the new URL that was created linking specifically to my banner. Then of course you need to define where this is going to link to. So https://mysite.com, let's say, and that's where people are going to be redirected when they click on the link. So once that is done, that's all the basics that you need. You press create media just like that. So now we see we have this new media. It has been associated with my favorite advertiser, but it doesn't actually belong to any specific campaigns. So now you do the third step, which is go to your campaigns page and you create a new campaign. You will name this campaign favorite advertisers first campaign. You're going to associate it once again with your specific client. You're going to tell it that this is a banner ad type. And once that is done, you actually have the options down here when you're first creating the campaign to associate the media files with it and associate the zone. So if you see here, I'm going to first add that Steve's first banner. I'm going to add it right to this campaign. Once that's been added, AdvertServe's campaign recognizes that we're talking about a 300 by 250. And then it suggests all the possible 300 by 250 zones that you may have already defined in your site. And you now associate this media file with this specific zone, and you press create campaign. Now it's all come together. You have a campaign which is running one media file and running it in one specific ad zone. If in the future you want to associate additional media, you just press edit media over here, and any additional media you might have may be associated with it. So imagine you added a second media type, like a 728 by 90, and you associated this campaign. This campaign now contains multiple dimensions. Well, if you go back to your edit campaign option, you will then be able to then add multiple zones. Like you can then associate your 728 by 90 zone or some other rectangle zone into there and save it. So that's the basics. To create a campaign, you're going to first make sure your customer has an account. You're going to then add media associated with that specific account. And finally, you're going to assign that media to a campaign and associate it with specific zones. In future videos, we'll talk in more detail about creating zones and creating ad sizes and associating them with your account.